Hey YouTube, it's Louie. Gonna be a little bit quiet, people down the hall sleeping again. Uh, I've been on this for a long time, ever since I've seen this video posted as a response, basically just because I want the hits. Now, I had to do a project for science class, and she said pick anything you want, anything that interests you that has to do with, uh, the globe, problems, and we had just gotten finished. I can put this down. Watching. There we go. The Al Gore movie, mm, Inconvenient Truth, which majority of that, sorry, is his life, how he ran for president, all this stuff. Half of it I didn't even get why it's in the movie, but beside the point. I didn't get why I was in the movie, and I personally am not somebody who thinks we can stop global warming anytime soon. So I did my paper, a little bit, a presentation actually on that. Uh, I didn't really work hard on it, just on the research, and found out a couple things. Just like to share it with you. If you didn't know some of this stuff, then should help you understand why I think the way I think. Let's start with, I believe 76% of the globe is covered with water. 76% is water. Now, how does that water break up into percentages? 90% is ocean water. Okay? 2% is always in the air. 2% is always in the air. Or majority of the time it's in the air. So you got 2% in the air, 90% on the ground. Then you have 6% in ice. So poles, Antarctica, anything that's ice. 6% is in ice. The other 2%, these aren't exact, I can't remember the exact numbers, but they're right on this. 2% fresh water, rivers, lakes, things of that sort. Now, uh, sorry, Angelina Jolie is on the TV. Uh, so, in The Inconvenient Truth, if you have seen it, there is some truth. The heat of the globe is rising. True. Let's see, what else is there? Hard to find some truth in there, actually. But, so 6% of, now there's also 360 trillion 360 trillion gallons of water in the ocean. I forget how deep. It's like 70 trillion. I don't know. I forget how deep it is. Anyway, 360 trillion gallons. Now, that means, if I'm not mistaken, that is 9/10 of the water. Which I don't know why I can't think of what that exactly would be. But then times by 6. 6% is going to be trillions, but it's going to be like 24 trillion or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty small number compared to 360. Now, he also said that it's not the ice that's in the water that's the problem. It's the ice that's above the water. True. That is true. You take a glass, and let's say you take this glass right here. There's nothing in it, but you take this glass, you fill it probably like right here with water, and you put ice in it so it fills up to here. You know what's going to happen? Water level's going to stay right there after the ice melts. Now, if you just fill this glass full of ice, when that ice melts, there'll be water. Proving that water above ice above water will create water. Okay, so that was true. But 6% of the world's water is in ice. 6%. And not all of that's above ground. It's probably like a 2%. But let's just pretend all 6%. 6% of the Earth's water is in ice. And it's not the kind that when it's filled up to here, it stays here when it melts. It's the kind that fills up when it melts, it increases water level. And the inconvenient truth, he shows how the flood water would take over China and New Orleans, and actually he didn't even say New Orleans, which is stupid because that would take over first, I believe. Uh, and then take over Florida. This is just half of, uh, like a quarter of Antarctica and half of something else. I can't remember. So this is a minuscule amount of the ice in the world, and it's gonna kill all these people and refugee hundreds of millions of people. That's not true. It's gonna be a minuscule amount. 360 trillion, add 24 trillion to that, is not that much in the grand scheme of things. Not only that, it's got to cover 76% of the world. It's got to spread out 76% of the entire Earth. I don't remember how big the Earth is. Most people that are going to get interested in this video are going to know that, so leave it to you. Now let's pretend we're like... now I'm not saying humans... I'm not saying global warming is not real. It is. But it's not as extreme as everybody's saying. Plus, there's nothing we can do about it. Now here's why. Let's pretend we stop putting carbon in the air, all greenhouse gases we stop today. People think, oh, you know what that's going to do? The ozone's going to get back to normal, everything's going to be back to normal. That's not true. The carbon that is up in the ozone that we put up there, that is a half-life or a lifespan, I can't remember what it was, doesn't matter, it's 100,000 years. It's going to be up there for 100,000 years. Now, when this happens, they gotta go back and retrieve it. They actually have plans to go up and retrieve it. You're not gonna get all of it. It's still gonna have a lot in there. Globe is still gonna be heated up more than it should be. Then don't get me started. It's not gonna... People are like, it's gonna create jobs if we do stuff like this. Well, what about, like, the mechanics and people that have jobs that are polluting the air? They lose their jobs. You need new hire train. It might create jobs. It's also gonna lose a lot of jobs. And those people that are gaining the jobs, they can get jobs now anyway. But let's see. So the water levels rise like a minuscule amount. Plus the storms would get huge. And if you've seen Day After Tomorrow, the storm, it basically creates an ice age. That's what's gonna happen eventually. Now it's not gonna happen like that in just like a week or so. It's gonna take hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands, 100,000, I don't know, 10,000 years. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's gonna take a long time. And then it's gonna make the ice age, because we're technically still heating out of an ice age. So the globe should be slowly warming. Yes, it's a little bit more erotic than it should be, but whatever. But that's gonna create more storms. This, that, the other. And I think that's it. If you want to dispute anything, please leave me a comment, video, response, anything. Because I think my reasoning is pretty sound. We should be help cleaning up the air and ground, but again, technology, like Captain Awesome here said, technology will eventually provide the answer, but it's going to take just as long as we did to create this problem to fix it. If not longer, probably a lot longer. So, you can break a vase in a second. It takes about 40 hours to fix. So,